Hi, crafties, and welcome to Weekend Crafting Adventures. I'm Kim, and in this crafting adventure, I am just putting together some really cute neon vintage motel keychains using some scrap vinyl that I have laying around in my crafting corner. Let me tell you a little bit about the inspiration behind this crafting project. I have boys. And so whenever I get the chance to make something for the women or young ladies or teen in my world, I get super excited. And I decided to take these really fun neon vintage motel keychains and just put some really fun little lyrics from some songs and a couple of other things with my niece's names on them for our little visit to Virginia that we're taking. It's a little bit of a quick project, but it's super fun. And if you have any scrap vinyl laying around, this is the perfect project to put it to use because these keychains are only about 1.5 inches long and probably only 1 inch across. And they look so fun with the retro font that I chose for this project. So let me tell you a little bit about a couple of materials that I needed. Of course, I'm using my scrap vinyl that I have, and I just chose to use like a turquoise color because I wanted to go with that retro feel, and all of the keychains that I'm doing are neon colors. So I've got neon orange, yellow, and pink going in this project. And I just thought that the turquoise really would be a fun pop of color on top of those keychains. But these keychains, I found them at a local craft store, 8 keychains for $3.50. This is a really reasonable price in my opinion. So this is a pretty fast and cheap crafting adventure. The other material that I needed for this was transfer tape. Whenever you use permanent vinyl in a crafting project, you need to have something to transfer it from the sheet that it was cut on and onto your project. And so the transfer tape is definitely something that I needed for this project. Let's see, the only resource really that I used that actually was super handy in this project was in Cricut Design Space. I searched in images for a vintage motel keychain image. And the reason I did that is that there's no shape that I could find in Cricut Design Space that was similar to the retro keychain shape. And I really wanted to make sure that my design fit in the area of the keychain. So when I went into Cricut Design Space images, I found a vintage motel keychain image. I brought it up onto my canvas and I turned it into a guide. And the way that I did that was just by going up to the function on the top left in the top of your Cricut Design Space canvas area and scrolling down till I found the guide function. Once I clicked that, I now had the perfect little template to use to fit not only all of my niece's names on these keychains, but also for the lyrics and any designs that I want to add in the future. So that was a really great resource. And I will have my project link in my blog post. I'm going to go ahead and make that public when this project publishes. And so if you do have Cricut Design Space or you're interested in trying this project, you can see exactly the way I turned that image into the guide and the designs that I used to create these fun keychains. So let me talk about the experience. I am using my scrap vinyl. It's a turquoise color and it is permanent vinyl. I am not the biggest fan of weeding and using permanent vinyl, but it really is the best material for this project. So I did go ahead and get all of my designs ready. And let me tell you a little bit about these designs. My nieces are Taylor Swift fans, most of them. And so I thought it would be really fun for a couple of the keychains to put a Taylor Swift lyric on the back of the keychain with my niece's names on the front. So I did 2 different lyrics. And what's really cool about Taylor Swift's lyrics is she has a ton of lyrics that have something to do with cars or car rides. It's actually amazing how many songs that she has with some reference in it to a car. So I thought I found 2 pretty cute designs. The first one that I found that I think is really fun is nothing good starts in a getaway car. So that I thought was a perfect lyric to put onto the fun little retro keychain. And the other one that I found that I thought was really cute is, what do you sing on your drive home? I know when I'm in the car alone, I am belting out my favorite songs and just enjoying the drive. And so I thought that would be a really fun lyric to use on the other keychain. I also did one different keychain. I did a really special one for my niece, Aubrey, and she is a lover of animals. And so instead of a Taylor Swift lyric for her, I went ahead and did her dog, Moose. Moose is a French bulldog, and he's quite possibly one of the cutest dogs I've ever seen. And so I did put Aubrey's name on the front, and then I put a little image of a French bulldog on the back of hers. And I really think she's going to love it. One other really fun thing that I found in this project was a font that is like a retro font that actually worked great with the permanent vinyl. Like I said before, permanent vinyl is not my favorite material to work with in terms of weeding vinyl. I just always tend to have a little bit of a challenge weeding it without like one of my letters popping off and flying somewhere, and then I can't find it, and then I'm recutting a design. So anyway, this font actually is great for small letters with permanent vinyl. And the name of the font is Tango Regular. It is a Cricut font, but I just found that it really, really worked well in this project with a small design. And like I said before, it has that retro feel. So it really went well with the vintage motel keychain. A little bit more on the experience of this crafting project. Cutting out the permanent vinyl, I did go ahead and put in a fresh fine point blade into my Cricut Maker just because I really wasn't sure what the last thing I had cut with this blade was. And usually I make like a little sticky note and put it on so I remember if it was vinyl, if it was cardstock, because one of the things that's really important is that you treat your blades like your scissors. So if you're cutting cutting vinyl, you have one blade for vinyl. And if you're cutting cardstock, you have one fine point blade for cardstock. It just makes sure that the cut comes out really well and you really don't waste a lot of time having to recut things because of any issues with the blades. So I did add a fresh fine point blade in. Weeding this was really easy, no big deal. Another fun little thing that I did with this project, I did reuse all of my Cricut transfer tape. I use it and then I put it back onto the carrier sheet for my next project. And I had a lot of perfect sized Cricut transfer tape in my crafting corner from when I did my subway sign with all of the ski resorts that I did with that removable vinyl. I kept all of that transfer tape. And so again, along with my scraps of vinyl, I'm reusing my Cricut transfer tape and it worked great. It was sticky enough to pick up the vinyl and put it onto the keychains. So that was a really fun little reusing of an old material that I had. After putting the designs onto the keychains, that's it. I'm done with this project. I do think I'm going to go and find maybe some cute puff balls to add on to the keychains because, like I said, whenever I get to make something for the girls, I kind of like to make it really girly just because I live in a house of men. So that's really fun for me. So I'm probably going to add some puff balls. And I also might add a layer of glossy decoupage onto the top of the designs just to really make sure that that vinyl stays on for the long haul. But that's it. That's this quick and fun project that I just finished up. I do want to share with you my crafting keepers for this episode. My first crafting keeper is going to be reusing my transfer tape. I really feel like this is a great little thing to have in my crafting corner. Transfer tape, it's not cheap. And if I can reuse it multiple times for different projects and it works well, I'm going to do it. And it worked really well in this project. So that's my first crafting keeper. And my second crafting keeper for this project is going to be that retro font that I found in Cricut Design Space. It's called Tango Regular. I love the way it looks. I love how easy it weeded when the letters and the sayings that I was using in this project were pretty small. It did a really good job, and it didn't get frustrating like sometimes weeding the really tiny little letters can get when you're doing those small projects. So those are my crafting keepers. And my Satiscrafttion rating for this project is a 5. This was really fun. It was fast. There was not a lot of frustration, if any, at all. It went really smooth. I think that the keychains turned out so cute. I really hope my nieces love them. I'm thinking they could either put a key on it or they can just use it as a little decoration hanging on their backpack or anything like that. So that is my vintage motel keychain with scrap vinyl project. And until our next adventure, take care.
That's all for this episode of Weekend Crafting Adventures. Now go get that Cricut machine off the shelf and get crafty. For more information on this crafting project, interesting tips, tricks, and techniques, visit WCApodcast.com. Until next time, when we embark on another adventure.